Hello everybody, welcome to Bitcoin Daily, 9 a.m. Central Time on the dollar, give or take. We do the show every day because we gotta know what's happening in Bitcoin, altcoins and everything else. And the big question right now, why is my face so red? Doesn't matter. The big question right now is it time to buy? Is it time to buy? If you are, unaware what's happening, not this chart, not that chart, not this one. Let's find something, clean. There is it. If you're unaware what's happening, where is the moon? 1 hour. Oh, the moon is still not on the chart. There is moon somewhere here. Over here, there is the, full moon. One of these green guys. There is a full moon right here down somewhere. It's supposed to happen today. But if you looked at up at the sky yesterday evening, last night, you would see a gigantic big thing on the sky. And we are thinking, that might just, propel us towards the upside. So, what are we gonna look at the, easy time to buy the dip on the altcoins? What's gonna happen next? And are we down enough on the chart? So, those are all important questions. How's everybody doing in the chat? There is nobody in the chat. There are 9 people here, but nobody in the chat because we only have members only chat from now on because reasons. And we're gonna keep it that way through the bull market. So, unless you wanna chat, enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. So what was I thinking over here? Well, let's go to the weekly time frame and see what's happening up here. Everything is going according to the plan so far. The blue box is still getting, being hit. We got rejected from the blue box. We are down by a bunch. Last time we did a daily up here, there was a significant, there was because of, we are waiting for some kind of breakdown over here. We are waiting some kind of breakdown. Over here towards downside. At one point you can no longer say that it didn't break down, but I think that this breakdown over here came actually all the way up there, right? So this move down over here, this first candle over here, that was the breakdown, and I think that the line goes something like this, even though I'm a little bit skeptical about it, but it might be something like this over here. And I think this is the first breakdown, and I did not call that, but because I was a little bit overly too bullish, and I was looking at this line and that line, and just waiting and waiting. But right now we are below any kind of line. I mean, there is no line that you can right now draw that you are technically not below, right? So this line is broken over here. There is this line that goes something like this up here, that's broken. There is even this line over here that's maybe it's holding, maybe it's not broken, maybe I think it's broken as well. I mean, literally every single line that you can draw on the chart is right now broken. Not every single line. I mean, there is always some kind of line below that. But we are below a lot of lines, and there is, it's pretty obvious right now that, we have broken the trend. So this uptrend over here that I've been going for a while up here, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this is broken, right? There is no doubt in our minds that this is right now broken. Now, like we used to say, and like we still say, oftentimes by the time it's confirmed breakdown, it's often too late. We don't want to sell on the breakdown down here because it's too late. Unfortunately, that's what often happens, at least in my case. So I'm trying to change my mind a little bit and trying to learn a little bit, although I'm not very good at learning. But I'm trying to figure out, I need to know to sell on the tops and not on the bottoms, right? You don't want to sell when the stuff breaks towards downside because oftentimes it's too late and it's already down by 20-30%, and it's gonna be even more next time around by the time it actually breaks the trend. If you remember back in 2021 when I'm going up here, I mean, it was too late once it starts breaking down over here, because this move over here went from the top of 65k all the way down to 27k, right? Sorry, not 27k, 27%. I mean, you dropped down to 30%. Then over here you had a nice move up here towards upside where you can again sell, but you do not want to wait for the breakdown. And by the time these two lines over here got broken over here, this was another 26% move down. If you waited just one more week, you would have been down like 50% in 2 weeks, from 60k all the way down to 30k in 2 weeks. So waiting for the breakdown is not the way to go. It's not the way to go. So if we don't want to wait for a breakdown, we want to figure out where is the top on the channel. where is the top on the channel, where is the top itself, and then sell those stops. Unfortunately, this went down, but you know, this wasn't actually that big of a deal because, you know, in the long run, everything still goes towards upside. We are not even above the resistance up here. We are not even above the previous, you know, previous highs up here at the top on the second blue box. There should be a third blue box up here at you know, top of the channel up here somewhere, right? So when this starts going towards upside over here, you know, the third box up here eventually gets hit. But we are just on the very first box, the very first move towards upside, the pivot point that we are right now being creating over here. And there is definitely some kind of line up here somewhere. We might actually check that out as well. You know, so missing this stop, you know, missing selling this stop over here and, you know, going down 20% doesn't matter because, you know, we are hodl gang, and hodl gang hodls until the top, and hopefully on the top I don't do, you know, we don't do the same mistake up here and we actually sell top of the channel and not the bottom of the channel. We don't wait for a breakdown on the channel, we sell the top of the channel once we hit that, right? The problem with selling at the top of the channel, if you are not you know, very skilled in the art of drawing the lines, if you sell the top of the channel, the problem is that, you know, it does this over here and then it continues towards upside. So you sold here, you know, so you need to know if you're gonna buy the bottom, if it's over or not, because if you don't, if buy the bottom up here, either you have to FOMO back in on the breakup, or you have to suffer the, you know, move up here and thinking that it's gonna go back down, because if it doesn't go back down, it continues, then you're effed, because right now, you know, you missed the whole bull market, right? But once we start getting towards upside, you will see other indications beside the chart that are gonna tell us that we are at top. Mainly retail is gonna be here, so you'll be talking, you know, you will be talk about, you know, grandma, granddad, you know, wanna buy Pepe and Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, and by that time, you know, when you start reading that, it's pretty much over. Ron Adopter is here. Nice to have you, man. You're always here. You've been here for a while. My Ron Adopter is the first guy that changed his name, you know, for the channel. Ron Adopter. Danny XP. How you doing, Danny? Damian. What's up? So it does look okay-ish. We pulled back. Unfortunately, I was wrong on the max pain towards the upside over here. I was, you know, like 31 months. Yeah, nice. By the way, there are 24 on 36 months you get a new check mark. I just figured out that YouTube has changed, because before you could only get check mark until 24 months, 2 years, and right now they increased that to 3 and 4 years. So there is a new, you know, check mark, not check mark, but whatever it's called, emoji at the end of it. You know, you see the arrow. I'm gonna make something new for the 3 years and 4 years, something special for the guys that have been here for a while. 31 months, that's a long time, man. That's a long time. It's nice to have you here that long. So I was unfortunately wrong on the move towards upside. Yeah, okay, at home little sick. Not enough schnopets. Šta je schnopets? So I was a little bit too bullish over here, and that's another mistake I often do. I get a little bit too bullish on the tops. Rakija, dobra rakija. Loza i rakija. So to može pomoći. So over here I was a little bit too bullish on the move towards upside up here. Unfortunately, I thought that the most pain is towards upside, because I really don't see who is gonna sell over here, and I don't see any kind of selling. Yes, that fund is selling. What was that? GTB fund, GBTC fund, or Grayscale fund is selling Bitcoin. I've seen that, you know, ETFs is buying, but if you look at, you know, outflows versus inflows from some kind of, you know, statistics I looked at on X, is that, you know, there is more inflows than outflows. So yes, they are selling, but, you know, somebody is definitely buying those bags. So I haven't seen a lot of selling over here, and this to me over here, even though we are pulling back towards downside, I don't see any capitulation move or anything like that. Yes, over here this was a big dump down here below the, you know, on the 50 moving. We broke there, we came a little bit down, but right now we're just kind of zigzagging over here towards downside, kind of pushing the price down, and I eventually think that we are again gonna go towards upside, because again I don't see really actually that much selling on the charts, and I don't know who else selling. Not only that, I wanna buy. I have money, and I was thinking, like, you see the title of today's video, is today the day we buy the dip? Is today the day we buy the dip? That's the big question. And I'm thinking that it might be that, because, or at least the dollar cost average towards the downside. Now, if you look at altcoins, doesn't matter what kind of altcoins you look at, this is Cardano over here. Cardano from the bottom towards the top did, you know, 180% towards the upside, but if you look how much they pull back, you know, 30%. So, you know, altcoins pull back already 30%. Can they pull back more? Definitely. But right now, after 30% pullback, I think it's time to, you know, dollar cost average. Not only that, if you look up here, if you just draw some, you know, very fast, you know, meme lines up here, because you see over here, there is some kind of box over here, there's some kind of box over here, there is a little bit box over here. You just pull some kind of lines on these boxes up here. You'll see this top down here on the bottom. You'll see these bottoms over here, and then you'll see these also this breakdown over here below that, and there is also another line down here all the way towards the downside. So you can see up here that we are already coming back inside this, you know, accumulation zone box over here on the downside. That actually happened. So, you know, is it gonna pull back a little bit more down here towards downside up here, you know, 40%, or maybe even all the way down to 50%, you know, 65% up here? I think it's just way too much. Can it actually happen? Can we do, you know, this move over here where we do this, you know, bleeding again for a while and then pump again towards the upside? Can this pullback all you know, remove all of the pump that we had since October, September? It is probable. I'm not saying that cannot happen. The you know, especially when it comes to altcoins always wait for Bitcoin to go before it actually do over here. And this looks like, you know, a little bit, you know, fast move down here. So, you know, might be another move over here, you know, some kind of parabolic move that actually breaks and then goes towards upside. I'm still waiting for that, you know, that drop towards downside. Unfortunately, I don't see that the drop happening. And this over here on Cardano is a very nice, you know, a waterfall move towards downside. It just kind of increases in speed, you know. And you know, can we wait for this you know, week down before we buy? We definitely can. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's gonna come. Right, if you look at over here, this is definitely some kind of, you know, some kind of parabolic move in the making over here. Over here, it's increasing in speed, and right now, you know, is it gonna do the move up here where it actually breaks up, fails, and then goes to the other side? Can we get another, you know, this liquidation kind of dumps, you know, 20% dumps over here? Some kind of wick over here, and then, you know, get out of the zone, reverse towards the other side. Oftentimes you get these, you know, these springs before you actually reverse, but it doesn't have to be the case. Over here there was a spring, you know, and then we came back down again, but over here there was no spring. It was just, you know, consolidation before the move towards the upside. If you look at a Bitcoin, and I just looked at Bitcoin over here, let me look at another chart up here. If you look at a Bitcoin over here for a little bit and go to the daily time frame, this daily time frame up here, so what you're gonna see here, every time we reverse the move towards upside, there was actually not a lot of springs. I mean, there were a little bit springs, and, you know, the springs were actually, you know, over here, you know, went sideways up here, and there was this, you know, big fast move, but there was 2 days of consolidation before we, you know, went towards upside. So this was technically a spring. Over here we had this, you know, big fast move down, a little bit consolidation, and then up, a little bit consolidation, and then up over here, right? Over here there was also a little bit different chart, because this actually just, you know, continued, you know, zigzagging faster towards downside, and eventually, I mean, there has been a couple of, you know, of these small, you know, springs over here that failed, and over here there was also this one up here, but, you know, it kind of slowly went down, didn't go down, you know, very fast, and then, you know, above the resistance levels. So how this is gonna play out? Over here you can see up here a big fast move broke the support, and then it was just kind of holding support. You could say that this over here was a spring, but, you know, it kind of slowly, technically it was a spring, you know, but every single one of these weeks is also a spring, but it wasn't anything violent, but it did move down, you know, got everybody, you know, very scared, and then moved back into the zone over here, continued towards upside, bounced on moving average, broke the resistance up here, and just exploded towards upside, right? And right now, what we are doing over here, I mean, we had, you know, the dump, you know, the spring in consolidation failed, the spring consolidation up here. I'm gonna have another spring towards downside when it comes to Bitcoin, you know, and you can see these moving averages right now, you know, curving towards us over here. So can we have a move towards downside? Definitely can. And I'm gonna show you the reason why I think that the move towards downside can actually happen. And if you look at some indicators over here, you will see that, for example, the RSI, the thing that I'm waiting actually for, I'm waiting to hit this 30 levels on the RSI, 29 levels, 30 levels on the RSI. That's what I'm looking for Bitcoin to hit over here. Just remove everything from the chart. It is very interesting, you know, if this is going to happen or not, because this 30 level down here in the box over here, 30 level RSI oftentimes indicates some kind of bottom, right? You can see down here when we start hitting that indicated bottom, not only that we hit, you know, 18 levels on the RSI over here and just consolidate over here sideways while it pulled back over here. Last time this one down here came all the way down to 30k levels. These over here didn't came to 30k level. You can see up here we slowly bled, but it only came up here to something like, you know, 36, and that's where we are actually right now, 36. So we can definitely bounce from these levels. We can actually definitely bounce from these levels, because this isn't some kind of major dump. Slow dump down to 36 levels, same place we, you know, that's why I'm saying that, you know, we can bounce, but, you know, it would be nice to hit these 30k levels over here on the downside. And these 30k levels doing, in fact, all the time, they don't have to indicate, you know, bottom, but they can indicate some kind of, you know, pump towards upside. Over here this was a little bit different, but if you look at it back in the bull market over here, when it started going towards upside, I mean, these dips over here, when it started dipping down here, right, there was also the spring down here again to 30k levels. They oftentimes indicate some kind of bottoms where you actually bounce from over here, right? You get into this zone down here all the way towards downside, consolidate, and then you either go sideways or you bounce from these levels, right? 30k levels again over here, bounce from that. Over here this was corona dump, and after that there was actually no more 30k level hits. I mean, over here we came 36 all the way down to 32k on this pullback towards downside. Just consolidated a little bit up here and just continue towards upside until the bull market, right? Over here this 50% drop down here got us down all 27, and this first drop up here got us all the way down to something like 30k level, sorry, 30 levels, and then we pulled back up here a little bit, got to this, you know, this retest on the top side up here, and then pulled again toward the upside. But do we have to actually hit the 30 levels over here on the RSI? Not necessarily, but it could be nice. It could be nice, because that I mean, the probability for a bounce after the 30k levels is pretty high. Probability to the bounce or probability for some kind of sideways movement, right? So that would be very nice. Another thing that I've been looking at is the RSI on the weekly time frame, right? So if you look at RSI on the weekly time frame, right now we are sitting exactly at 61 point something, right? Where is that? We are sitting at 61.94 or something like that, right? And in the bull market up here, this can actually go all the way down to something like 54, 53 levels, right? So if we pull back even more towards downside over here, we might actually hit this 54 level down here on the downside. These pullbacks up here every single time came into these levels over here. As you can see up here, these two. This one over here pulled back a lot more, but this is, you know, way too early in the bull market. But once you start going into the you know, late bull market up here, you retest these levels up here, and then you go towards upside, right? Eventually you break the high of 70 levels, right? Once this 70 level up here is broken up here, you can see up here we broke it up here on this move towards upside, and if we just you know, after that we just explode. So we are not quite there yet. Technically we broke this 70 over here towards upside up here, 70 towards upside. So I don't know why we are pulling so much. Maybe the bull run is actually finished. Maybe the bull run is actually done, right? Like over here we broke that, we pumped towards upside, but this pullback after the first initial move, this pullback came all the way down to, you know, 44k levels. So it can pull back a lot more, but this is way too early. If you look at where is the what time is it right now? Where is the indicators up here? Halving. If you look at up here, halving events, you'll see that this pullback over here, this on the weekly chart, the pullback started, you know, 46 bars before the halving, right? 46 bars before the halving. If you look at right now, April 15, 16, we don't have 46 bar left, guys. I mean, this over here pullback, you know, we got 14 bars left. That's like only a quarter of the you know room onto the halvening over here. So it is a different. We are at a different point. We are at a different point when this pullback started happening. I don't know, did you see that? When this pullback started happening, we are at a different point in time frame than we have been before, right? This was only 14 bars before that. So right now, you know, we are pulling back, but can we pull back all the way down? It's gonna be 62, 61k level. It's gonna be up here, you know, some kind of 54 all the way down to 44 levels on the RSI. But you can see that there is definitely more room to go towards downside, right? I mean, we can bounce, and I was a little bit too bullish previously, but I said over here at the top, I mean, there is nothing wrong to just go over here towards the upside. The only problem up here right now is that, you know, the retail is not here, so, you know, it's really hard to pump the price. But I thought that if you go towards upside, there is max pain because everybody's shorting. Now, everybody shorting was actually shorters, and the people that I go long, they're already FOMO'd back in. So the thing that I figured out over here in this box right now, I think I figured out when it comes to the max pain stuff, right? So I was thinking like max pains towards upside, everybody's shorting, everybody wants to sell. No, only traders are shorting, only hedge funds are selling, only good guys who knows how to draw the lines are selling. The retail is actually buying. Okay, so the retail is buying towards upside. So the max pain is not for max pain for me and you, because me and you can draw the lines. The max pain, it depends on where the max pain for the retail is, right? So if the max pain for the retail is towards downside, it's gonna go towards downside. If the max pain for the retail is towards upside because they are shorting or selling, it's gonna go towards upside. So when we pull right now pulling towards downside, we have figured out where the max pain for the retail is. If they think it's gonna go down and they start selling, that might be the, you know, the thing. Just a second, it's my mom. Okay, so the max pain depends on, you know, where the max pain for the retail is, not for me and you. So that's the biggest thing over here, where the max pain for retail is. And retail often don't know, you know, retail is always, you know, way too bullish and way too bearish, just like me. So when retail thinks that, you know, it's gonna go towards upside, you know, the more pain is towards downside than towards upside. Because if you just continue going towards upside, there is no pain. So they need pain and we need to pull back, right? And there is some nice lines over here. Let's go to the weekly time frame. So if you just look at a little bit like this, let's draw another, because I don't think these channels up here are that, you know, correct, because you can see this bottom line over here. It's not actually hitting the midline over here. So let's find another chart and, you know, draw nice lines over here. Something like this up here. I think this one is actually very legit. This is very nice. Go all the way down to the bottom. There's something there. There we go. Okay, so can we go all the way down to something like, you know, 36k levels down here on the bottom side and, you know, retest those levels? I mean, we technically can do that. We can technically do that. I just don't want to be the guy that missed the dump on the dip. So the big question again on the video is, do we buy the dip today? And I think, you know, it's already, you know, legit reason to start dollar cost averaging, because if you remember before, I said, you know, it is really stupid to start, you know, dollar cost averaging up here at the top towards downside, because there is no capitulation. The price just, you know, we got 4 years left. dollar cost averaging is just stupid, right? But once you get into this capitulation over here towards the downside up here and start the dollar cost averaging over here on the downside, I mean, that's not stupid, that's just normal, because oftentimes, you know, people don't know where the exact bottom is. Sometimes price is a little bit too bullish and just bounces. You know, do you get this pullback towards downside or not? You know, there is a lot of things to take into consideration. And right now, the way I see it over here, for example, this is just Cardano, but you know, it doesn't matter what kind of coin you take, right? You know, this Polkadot, let's take another coin up here, one for example. Really doesn't matter up here, you know, what kind of coin you take, because you are still, for example, in some calculation zone, you still pull back a whole bunch of stuff. You know, can you go down lower? I mean, this is still, you know, dollar cost average zone, so it doesn't matter if you start buying now over here, even if you buy it up here, but here, you know, dollar cost averaging towards downside is the way to go, especially if you don't know the charts. So over here on one, for example, we had a really nice line. This is some kind of channel towards downside. It is just bleeding. Eventually this is just gonna break, consolidate up here, or continue, you know, in new trend towards upside or something like that. Eventually, right, and it's gonna go towards upside, right? So dollar cost averaging right now in the channel towards downside, I mean, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. So I don't think you know, 100% buy right now, you know, is the thing, because you can get this dip towards downside up here for whatever reason, you know, the spring that gets everybody bearish, and then out of the spring towards upside, because you right now saw that, you know, when it comes to RSI on the weekly and the daily, like, there is still room left on the downside. I'm gonna show you another chart, ETH BTC. Look at this over here. These are my lines. I actually posted the chart yesterday. Yeah, the Ethereum. Let's pull this up all the way up here because it's nicer up here. So Ethereum up here, it was in this falling wedge over here, broke down, came into the box, big spring up here, back inside, failed to break down. Right now retesting this downside up here. If it breaks on the downside again, this is actually very bad for Ethereum, because it just continues dumping. On the other hand, I don't know the reason why Ethereum should be dumping, because right now, you know, we had the ETF talk, you know, pump the price on the ETF, Bitcoin ETF. And right now, you know, the talk is about Ethereum ETF. So, you know, maybe they want to pump Ethereum next, right? But right now, Ethereum looks like it's on the bottom over here on the channel and might actually bounce over here and eventually break towards upside. On the other hand, if it does break on the downside, that means that Bitcoin is going to outperform again Ethereum, and I don't think that's gonna be the case. I mean, Ethereum is just too strong a coin to be this bad versus Bitcoin, and Bitcoin already had this, you know, the initial pump towards upside, very close to the halving. Right now we got a full moon and stuff like that, right? But the dump over here, it is out of the channel. I mean, there is no way you can draw this channel up here, at least this last part of the channel, that we are not out of the box. Maybe you can draw it something like, yeah, let me see up here. Maybe it's something like this up here. I mean, this looks nice, guys. This looks nice, right? The bottom's up here somewhere, right? The bottom, the touch on the line down here. I mean, this line looks nice, right? I'm gonna draw it on another chart up here. This actually looks very nice. So maybe this is the line up here. Go something like this up here, all the way towards top. You can see this tops over here, this top over here. You can see this very nice, you know, mid lines up here. You can see this very nice, you know, touches on the bottom side, and you can see right now. So is this the bottom over here on this channel right now? There are reasons both for and not. I'm a little bit unsure. And you know, if you know, my berry, you know, I would say that, you know, somewhere up here, you know, it can just reverse and go towards upside, because there is no reason why it cannot reverse. There is no reason why it cannot reverse. On the other hand, you know, we got this, you know, bigger channel over here. Maybe it's this channel over here. I don't know. This also looks like very close to the top. Maybe it's this one over here, because there are very nice lines and a breakdown down there. Then there is a little bit rest. I mean, if I was bearish, you know, I could say there is a little bit more down towards downside. But if you think, like, you know, from 40k levels all the way down, you know, that's like 10% more down. And once it hits those levels, like, it's very fast towards upside. So if you know, my bearish scenario is down to 36 something over here, but the bullish scenario is like, yeah, it can reverse right now. I mean, there is no reason why we cannot just go. it is pretty obvious, not pretty obvious, but it does look very, very nice. It does look very nice. This doji up here broke towards downside. We broke the trend up here, you know, we broke the support down here. But oftentimes when you break the support levels and you go into the liquidity zone up here, you know, you reverse and you go towards upside up here. So I don't see the reason why we should not go towards upside. Let me show you the last chart up here, and that's this one over here. If you remember, we talked about, you know, liquidity zones and stuff like that, right? Let me just move. You can see this bottom, you know, this is the last one. There we go. Let me just remove some kind of channels because we don't need channels right now. There we go. And let me remove this line over here. Let me remove this line because it's easier to see. So this was the box where we, you know, create a lot of liquidity both on the upside and towards the downside, and we were, you know, we went up, picked up whatever the liquidity was up there, and I thought we should continue going towards upside because of the makes pain, you know, theory. Unfortunately, that makes pay theory failed and went to the opposite side, so we readjusted theory. But you can up see we said that this, you know, because oftentimes where do traders put their, you know, stop losses? Below the last weeks, because that's what every trader is you know learning to do. Put your stop losses just below the previous previous week, right? And then you know, leverage long up here, figure out, yeah, it's not gonna go below these levels over here. That's the support level, so they go long over here and put you know, their liquidation levels are down in this zone over here, right? So there is a lot of stuff going on in this zone over here, and then once you start breaking down the channel as well, there is a liquidity area over here because people start selling because, oh, we just broke down, you know, it's gonna continue down forever. So the whole bunch of stuff happens once you go down, and people think that, you know, lower levels are coming, and once that actually happens, you know, you get into liquidity zone, you pick that liquidity, and then you can actually go towards upside. So I think we picked up liquidity, and I think the next liquidity levels is way down, right? So just going into these you know, into this area over here, just going into this area over here, I don't think that does much. I think we need to go below the previous low down here. That's 33.4 or something like that. If it's gonna pick up the next liquidity area, it needs to go all the way down there. And you know, right now that seems to be, you know, another 20% down towards the downside, which I don't see happening right now. I mean, it's a little bit, you know, hard to imagine that we're gonna go all the way down to, you know, 31k. What's that over here? 31k. All the way on the bottom side to pick up that liquidity. So I mean, we picked up whatever liquidity we could pick up. We could consolidate over here until we break the channel up here and then go towards upside. But going all the way down to 30k level to pick up this as well, it just doesn't seem, I mean, to me it doesn't seem, you know, legit way to do stuff. And the last thing over here, just the channels up here, it's interesting. 22% pullback, you know, 20% pullback, 24% pullback, and this right now is at 21% pullback. So, you know, you draw your own conclusions about this and do whatever you want. I think it's time to dollar cost average into the altcoins, because the pullback did happen. The altcoins did this move out of the accumulation zone. A lot of altcoins did the move out of the accumulation zone, and right now they're pulling back into that accumulation zone or support levels and stuff like that. So halvening is less than 3 months away. Less than 3 months away. The time goes very fast. Today is 25th and we got a 17th. So, you know, 2 months and 20 days left. And time goes very quick, guys. So the halvening will come. There will be dump here and there, the price will consolidate, and eventually it will go towards upside. Yeah, again, there is another thing besides the channels up here. These are nice channels, might be the channels. There is another thing up here that is interesting up here. Let me just remove the halvings up here for a second. This level of resistance up here will be very weak. So once we can come to the, you know, once we break the blue box over here and come to some kind of 60 level, this is gonna, you know, be something like this, and just, you know, strike through that, because it doesn't, you know, pull back a lot on the resistance level. Let me go and look at previous, you know, pullbacks up here, over here at some kind of top right. You can see up here previously it was just a little bit, you know, zigzag, and we just broke through, you know, that resistance level over here, right? And over here in 2014 all the way up here, I mean, we tapped that, but it was just kind of going towards upside, right? There was a big rejection over here in 2014 towards upside, but this was a little bit different move. you know, and you just break that. So when you see that, you know, we are tapping the 60k level, it's pretty much that's the sign that, you know, the last part is coming, right? So when we are up here and we start, you know, tapping the 60k levels up here at the top, we start doing the moves up here. It's very, very close before it does this move. And when it does this move, it's not gonna go very, very slow towards upside. It's gonna go like, you know, like this, right? So you can already see up here how fast these moves are going. So you know, over here to over here, you can do like in 1-2 weeks. It just kind of consolidates for a long time, just big move. So, but once it comes to 60k levels, it's pretty much over. My friend, do you see something good for XRP? Just asking because my white hair is over 50% now. I posted on X yesterday. I posted a tweet on yesterday on X. I think I don't have to show the tweet, but XRP. I posted this on a tweet. Yeah, you know, the hopium for XRP, and it is holding the support down here towards the downside. And I don't see any reason why XRP should not pump, right? I don't see any reason why XRP should not pump. Now, if you check my latest video, like dead coins, you know, I was, you know, one of the coins I was referring to that I think are dead coins is XRP, unfortunately. But, you know, everything pumps in the bull market, so I don't see why this thing cannot, you know, do 240%. But when it's gonna pump, I don't know. But every single one of these pumps is pretty legit. This is like 76% pump. This over here is, again, you know, 70% pump. This over here is something like, you know, 100% pump. This up here is another 60% pump. So, you know, eventually, you know, you're gonna get another one of these, you know, 100% pump, something like that. But I think, you know, 1.6, something like that is a very legit reason to go up there, because this is a, you know, double channel and a big channel. This is doubling of the channel to 1.6 or something like that. But will this be bull market talk? Will it actually go above that and stuff like that? You know, we're not gonna go into that. But there is no reason why, you know, XRP cannot pump. Even EOS is gonna pump. Even EOS is gonna pump. So you're gonna see that. Anyways, guys, I gotta go to work. I still got my day job. Still did not make it, you know, in this crypto life. So, you know, I gotta go and work. That's it. Enjoy the day, you know. And to answer the question, which we already answered, is it time to buy the dip? I think it's time to dollar cost average into the dip. It's, you know, altcoins are down 30-40%. It is time to start dollar cost averaging. So if it goes down more, you dollar cost average. If it pumps, you're already in with something, so we can FOMO in with the rest. Enjoy the day, guys. I gotta go. Bye bye. Where's outro? There is outro.